I hope that you're doing well. You're having a good week. I wanted to go over a couple of things. I'm going to be referring back to the book back and forth. If you guys have a question on one of the lessons or you're not sure how to do something, make sure you email me and let me know. And I can always do a video as you're working through the lessons. Uh, but basically, let me just scroll down here. Okay, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, it can get a little confusing. Okay, let's go to InDesign. This is something to remember. Remember, you don't have this right here, this bar at the very top. When you're looking at the menu bar, if you don't have a menu bar, I don't like not having a menu bar. So just remember that you can go up at the top of your screen, and I like to have it on digital publishing. That's where I like to leave it. Let me just bring this in a little bit so we can see it. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So everything here starts looking disorganized for me. But just gonna keep that in mind. Okay, so I like to use the digital publishing because InDesign it mostly works with layout. So looking at this postcard from lesson one. Okay, I wanted to talk about the picture box. So on the picture box, you notice that every time I take my mouse and I'm taking my with either if I take my selection tool, which is the black one, and I take it right over the picture, look what happens in the middle. You guys see this circle in the middle, kind of like a camera icon? If you take your direct selection tool and take it over, then look what happens. I get this brown outline all the way around the picture. Okay, so I'll tell you what that's telling me. So when I go over with the direct selection tool and you see that brown outline, that tells you how much picture you have, top and bottom, top and bottom, left and right, that you are able to move around. So if I can, and you see how it turns into the hand, so I can go ahead and move this picture. If I move it far to the right, you notice that there's just now more picture here. So that's why when I come back over here, it says, wait a minute, your picture box is this size, which the blue is the size of the picture box. The brown, again, is the size of the picture. So if I bring it too far out, they're like, oh, wait, you know what? You're out of picture. But there's your picture box. So that just shows you what you have to move. Okay, on the selection tool, when you come to the selection tool and you come to the middle and you get the camera icon, that's pretty much the same thing. It's just telling you that, okay, you can move this picture around and you have this much to move it. So that's one of the things that you want to think about. So if I were going to come to the corner of this and hold my shift key down, I will be able to downsize this picture, but not the picture box, the picture in the inside of the picture box. Do you see what I'm not? So see, it's zooming really fast, and look what I'm doing here. Now it's telling me that the picture, I've zoomed in so much that I have this much picture around. So again, that's by taking direct selection tool and grabbing the corner and holding shift and bringing it in. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want you to be conscious about is distorting pictures. Usually when we start out learning an application like this, one of the mistakes that we make is that we seem to enlarge the pictures. So as an example, let's say I go over here and I move it this way. Okay, and then I move it this way a little bit. So I'm trying to make it fit the space. And so I kind of go like this, and I'm not holding the shift key down. I'm kind of just moving it around freely. Well, when you look at this image, look at what happened to the bird. The bird is distorted. It's now it's a little too wide. Okay, and how can I tell? I can tell because you can visually see it, but the other reason how I can tell is when I click on this picture, and I'm gonna click and hold, look over here at your menu bar. This right here is telling you, the position of where the picture are, the X and the Y versus on the grid. That's why you see that little point over here for reference tool. But then it's telling you that the width is the 4.66 inches. That's actually, this is the size of that brown box. So it's 4.66 inches by 4.44 inches. If you keep going to the right, you see here that it's like 51.133886%. And then this is 40.24169. So this, if you're not sure if a picture is distorted or not, this will give it away. Because this at 51, again, this is 51 to 40 vertically. So if I click on that picture and I go, I'm gonna go to 52, and then I wanna go, and then, because this is linked, if you unlink this, let's say I go here and I'm gonna put 55 on here, and I unlink this, it's just gonna give me, when you link the percentages, they're gonna do the same size horizontally and vertically, okay? You don't wanna do this to a picture. I see that in so many mistakes. I'm sure you see it too. You know, sometimes people are trying to look thinner in pictures and they kind of distort them a little bit in order to look thinner, or they're trying to fill the space and you have a really small picture in this large space and it just doesn't work. So this is like a big no-no. I don't want to see anyone distorting picture. So whatever the percentage is on the horizontal, make sure it's the same percentage vertically. So that will give you, so that you know, and if you're not sure, again, look up here. This is your key that will help you guide you. Now, how do you enlarge the picture or decrease the size of it without distorting it? So what you're gonna do, you're gonna come up to the corner, hold the shift key on your keyboard and come down and see what's happening. Look at my numbers here. See, even if I go bigger than that 52 or whatever number I had, I'm just holding my shift key. Okay, so that is the key, holding the shift key or coming over here and putting in the numbers manually. There's my picture. Okay. Now, so we talked about the blue again is the size of the picture box. So you notice it's kind of really cool. You can enlarge the picture inside the picture box. So you don't have to worry about maneuvering the picture box. But let's say you want to downsize the actual picture box. So to downsize the actual picture box, you call the Shift, Option key, and Command on a Mac. And see what happens. Look at that. You proportionately downsize it. Okay? If I don't hold the Shift key, I come to the corner and just downsize it. See what happens? You can downsize it, but what happens, the picture does not go with you. You're only manipulating the picture box. So just keep that in mind. So again, that will be Shift, Option, and Command. Come to the corner and size it down. Okay. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. The other thing I want to talk to you about is the type. As you work on your as you work on your assignment. Okay, like one of the things that I always say is like, be mindful of the layout. So here in the layout, they have it coming in about a quarter an inch in on all four sides except this picture. The picture here and that paragraph touch. So they literally come butt to butt with each other. Now, how do I know? So one of the things that is your friend is this ruler line. If you don't have that ruler, you can go up to view. Oh my goodness, I just went completely blank. Howard, I'm gonna give you the command for it. You can do Command R, that's if you have no ruler, or you can do, or Command R again to make the ruler appear. So, as you're working on this, you will see, I'm just looking at this and looking at this, and that's how I know that it is a quarter of an inch. Now, let's say that you're starting out and you set up your document. You didn't set up your document from the beginning like you want it. So you want to do it afterwards. It's so easy. Just come over here and see what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing with the mouse. I'm on the selection tool and I'm coming over the black. I'm going to click and hold and what happens when I'm dragging in. So let's say here, this document is set up with that quarter inch guide all the way around. But let's say like this guide's over here were not set up. So let's say I'm going to set them up. I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and guesstimate another quarter and then do it right here. So now you see the guides on here. So how you hide the guides, you can go up to view, grids and guides, and hide guides. Or you can do Command colon or semicolon. Now, do you notice how now you can see all these ligatures in here? It's because you have two views. So when you come up to view, you have an overprint view. If I turn that off, it is like a low res view. So why do you want that? And let's say that you're working on a really big brochure or a book and it has a lot of images and you have a lot of pages and it's just it's slowing your computer down. So a lot of times what you want to do, you want to take off the overprint view to be able to help you save some RAM and move a little bit faster. That is all you're doing. Now, if you need to see actually your returns and your ligatures in here, that's another reason why. And that's why this picture all of a sudden looks pixelated because of that. So you just want to go up to view, overprint preview. And look, even the color change. You notice in here, if I go back and turn this off, look at the color in here. It just gets a lot brighter when I use overprint preview. So just really keep that in mind. Okay, let me go back to the book and let me see. I'm not touching on everything since this is what you guys are working on, but I'm touching on the things that I do think they're important. Okay, here on page 10, they talk about obviously moving the image and where to position it. They talk about the properties here. So just an FYI, remember that if you need any of this panel here, you can go up to Window, and this one is Properties. Okay? And I'm going to put this in here. So this right here on the Transform option is the same information that you see up here on the menu bar, except that obviously you see some additional options in here, and it's a lot of times what happens is that people like to work different ways. Like one of the things that I like to work, I do use the menu bar quite often, but another thing that I like to work with the panel. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't see all the options here. I just want to go ahead and open this up. And you can see here, you can see how, if I wanted to expand this box, I bring it down. And then you see some of these options up here that you would probably need as well. So it's just kind of like what do you prefer how to work? So let's keep that in mind. Let me go back to the book. Okay, let's talk about this type tool here. Okay, so one of the things that you want to keep in mind when working with type, I notice that here you're going to go in and add like an indent like here to bring in the text so that the text does not sit in the at the edge of the color box. Okay, so if you are on object text frame options, or if you're not sure what the command is, you can see it right here, or command B. You open this up, and then right here there's an inset spacing. This right here, this empty space all the way around is called the inset spacing of 0.125 all the way around it. So if I was going to take this off and put 0 in here, and I click preview, now you see how the text goes all the way to the edge of that color box. So this is why they wanted to make this look a little bit more attractive. This is why they put the 0.125. Now I'm only typing it in one box if you notice, and then I'm going by turning preview on and off. And the reason I didn't have to fill out the other boxes is because this was filled out. Now, one of the things about this text frame option here. So here is telling you have one panel, one column. And what I mean by that, let me go to another page. So if I need to go to my pages, go up to Window, Pages, and let me go to, I'm going to create another page here at the bottom so I can show you. So if I have my text, right, so here's my text box. Okay, here's my text box. Now, if I go up to Object, Text Frame Options, if I put in here, let's say I want to make this into 3 columns. Let's say that you're doing a magazine layout and you want to go ahead and have 3 columns. A lot of students take and they go, copy, paste, and they kind of like line it up wherever they can, copy, paste, and then they have it and they line up with it. That's not, it's not a bad idea, but it's not the most efficient way to work. Because because what happens in this situation, this is one box, this is another box, and this is another box. If you want the text to flow into 3 columns, what you want to do, you want to go up to Object, Text Frame Options, right here where it says 1, put 3, and select OK. Now I know you don't see it, but once again, if you hide that over Print Preview, you can see how this is on here. So let's say that we're going to have more text on here. Okay. So, and I go back to Overprint Preview, like you can see that here's all the text. Now from here, you can decide, oh, okay, this actually breaks in here. This breaks in here. And then you can do Command A, select the text when you're on your type tool. And here you can select, okay, that's flush left. By the way, remember that it's flush left when it's like the image is sitting on the left hand side. This is flush right. Okay. This is justified, okay, which it means the thing with justified text, it looks really cool, but you have a lot of work to do, you know, because there's a lot of gaps and those have to be worked through. Or this is left justified. You can see it changed a little bit. Some of that stuff realigned. And then select it one more time. And this is center. Okay. So when you have columns, I don't usually advise that you do center text. However, there's always an exception to the rule. So you're really going to have to think about that, about what you want to achieve with that. But this will gives you a visual of to keep in mind. I'm gonna go slow, and I don't want to overwhelm you. I know some of you are still trying to get Adobe InDesign, so I'm gonna stop here, and I will be back with another tutorial soon. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. And I really, if you have any questions, please, please, please let me know. Thank you.